A single burst of speed from a grizzly bear is enough to change the rhythm of the forest. Every step carries the presence of one of the mountain's most formidable predators. Its immense body, powerful shoulders, and keen sense of smell make it a force to be reckoned with. Every swing of its forelimbs and every steady breath reflect the strength to shape the outcome of an encounter. So which animal is fast enough to escape a grizzly bear? Along the edge of an open forest, deer rely on speed to survive. Their ability to change direction in an instant helps them escape most pursuing predators. In open terrain, every stride is a sequence of rapid reactions, accelerating, turning sharply, and disappearing among the trees. As soon as the target comes within range, the grizzly bear bursts forward. Its powerful body surges ahead, closing the distance in just a few critical seconds. The deer reacts immediately, making sharp turns again and again to break the bear's path. But the terrain is not always in its favor. A fallen tree slows its movement. A single misstep is enough for the narrow gap to disappear. One well-timed reach allows the bear to make contact with its target, and the deer's chance to escape quickly fades. Speed can create an opportunity to survive, but one step out of rhythm is enough to change the entire outcome. In a Yellowstone valley, the remains of a meal become more than a source of nourishment. They become the center of a tense standoff. The leftover remains turns into a hotspot, bringing two of the region's top predators face to face. A pack of about 10 gray wolves circles the food, keeping its distance while testing the situation. Their hit-and-withdraw strategy repeats again and again. They move in to gauge the bear's response, then quickly pull back to maintain formation. Their constant movement and vocalizations create steady pressure, gradually wearing down their opponent's focus. At the center, the grizzly bear stands firm like a living boulder. Much larger than any individual wolf, it turns at precisely the right moments, keeping the food behind its body where it is hardest to reach. Every movement is deliberate, allowing it to maintain control without wasting energy. As time passes, the balance gradually shifts. With its strength and ability to control the space around it, the grizzly bear ultimately retains the food. The conflict between these two species extends far beyond leftover food. In late spring at Yellowstone, a hidden wolf den becomes the center of a particularly vulnerable season. A mother wolf protects her pups inside carefully dug dens that provide shelter and remain difficult to detect. At the same time, grizzly bears, with a sense of smell capable of detecting scents from miles away, begin searching for energy-rich food sources. If a wolf den is discovered, it may become a more accessible food source than confronting fully grown prey. This difference creates an ongoing tension between the two species, a natural result of their survival instincts. When the adult wolves arrive, the balance begins to change. Repeated advances and withdrawals force the bear to keep turning, gradually using more energy. As the pressure increases, leaving the area is not a sign of weakness, but a practical decision to avoid unnecessary risk. As these encounters repeat over many seasons, they become part of each species' instinctive behavior. Across the broad valleys, every step forward and every step back helps maintain a delicate balance, where survival always comes first. Along the Alagnak River, the moose stands like a living fortress. A full-grown adult can reach an impressive size, weighing nearly 1,500 pounds, with long legs and broad hooves designed for traveling across soft ground, shallow water, and riverbanks. In this environment, the moose is more than potential prey. It is a formidable opponent. The grizzly bear knows how to turn the landscape into an advantage. When it spots a moose crossing the river, it immediately enters the water. Rather than confronting its target on land, the bear chooses an environment where its weight can apply constant pressure, gradually closing the distance. Once it moves within range, the strategy shifts to maintaining control. The bear uses its body weight to pressure the moose, while the water slows the moose's movement. The moose works to keep its balance and continue toward the riverbank. In deeper water, every step becomes more demanding, and the balance gradually shifts in the bear's favor. After a sustained effort, the grizzly gains the advantage, not through speed, but through endurance and its ability to use the terrain to its benefit. Sometimes, victory does not belong to the stronger animal. It belongs to the one that understands its surroundings best. Everything changes when a mother moose stands between a predator and her calf. The cautious standoff quickly changes, and every response becomes immediate and direct. As the grizzly bear attempts to push the pair toward the water's edge, the pressure builds with every step, triggering a determined defense. Each time the bear moves forward, the mother moose forces it to reconsider the risk. Sometimes the predator's only practical choice is to back away. In the natural world, strength does not come from muscle alone. It also comes from what every animal is willing to protect. During the fall in Hayden Valley, elk enter the most demanding season of the year. Adult bulls, weighing up to 700 pounds, devote nearly all of their energy to contests for dominance. The sound of antlers clashing echoes across the valley, with every confrontation draining valuable strength. It is at this moment that the grizzly bear appears. Rather than targeting the strongest individuals, it focuses on one that has begun to slow down. As the elk moves toward a deep river, the bear gradually closes the distance. In the cold water and strong current, the elk's advantage steadily fades. The bull works to maintain both distance and a defensive position, but in the confined space, every step becomes more demanding. The grizzly uses the environment to its advantage, maintaining steady pressure until the elk's advantage gradually slips away. In another part of the valley, a grizzly bear follows the trail of a moving elk herd. As the formation begins to spread out, a young elk that falls behind becomes the focus. There is no prolonged pursuit, just one well-timed rush, and the young elk is quickly brought under control. During the demanding fall season, even a small mistake can change the outcome. In that world, survival depends not only on strength, but also on which animal loses its rhythm first. Along Alaska's icy rivers, one of the world's most remarkable migrations takes place every year. Millions of salmon travel hundreds of miles upstream, returning to the places where they were born. It is more than a spawning journey. It is a test of endurance and remarkable navigation. At the river's natural bottlenecks, grizzly bears are already waiting. The largest bears claim the highest positions, where the salmon must leap above the water. They stand almost perfectly still to conserve energy, waiting for the precise moment to catch a salmon as it jumps. Farther downstream, younger bears must be more active. They move through shallow water, sensing movement before making a quick, well-timed sweep with a forelimb. This is a hunt built on timing and reflexes. Even the slightest miscalculation allows the fish to slip away. Grizzly bears do not consume every part of the salmon. They select the most energy-rich portions, leaving the rest for birds and many other animals. As a result, the salmon run becomes a vital source of nourishment throughout the river ecosystem. Within this natural cycle, nothing goes to waste. Every moment contributes to maintaining balance, where life continues quietly yet persistently. Along the edges of open forests and dry valleys, the puma moves like a shadow. A full-grown puma is much smaller than a grizzly bear and rarely chooses a direct confrontation. For the puma, survival depends not on strength, but on avoiding unnecessary risk. In most encounters, the puma quietly withdraws. It disappears into rugged terrain, becoming almost impossible to detect. This is an effective strategy, conserving energy for a more favorable opportunity rather than challenging a much larger opponent. When a boundary is crossed, especially near her cubs, everything changes. A mother puma shifts into a defensive state, repeatedly moving in and pulling back to apply pressure and encourage the bear to keep its distance. For the grizzly bear, the situation becomes a question of risk. The target is difficult to control, while other food sources remain available. As a result, the practical choice is often to leave, not because the bear is defeated, but because the risk is not worth taking. Strength does not always determine the outcome. Sometimes, understanding one's own limits and priorities is what allows a species to survive through many challenging seasons. During the breeding season, as temperatures rise and food becomes plentiful, an unseen pressure emerges in the world of grizzly bears. Adult males, with their much larger size, begin traveling across wider areas, marking their territories and searching for mating opportunities. At this time, mother bears with cubs face greater risk, not because they are unable to defend themselves, but because young cubs can become vulnerable during the breeding season. For that reason, mother bears keep their distance from areas marked by adult males. They remain on the move, choose dense cover, and respond quickly whenever they detect potential danger. If they are forced into a direct encounter, a mother bear becomes exceptionally protective, not to gain the upper hand, but to create enough time for her cubs to retreat to safety. In another setting, encounters between adult male grizzly bears follow a very different pattern. They become tests of strength and determination. The two bears watch one another, closing the distance one step at a time before the tension escalates. Once the gap disappears, physical strength becomes the deciding factor. The powerful collisions unfold quickly but demand tremendous energy. Even so, most encounters end when one bear chooses to withdraw, because avoiding serious injury is more important than achieving a complete victory. Within the cycle of survival, every decision comes with a cost. Sometimes true strength lies in knowing when to stop in order to endure for the long term. After the encounter, territorial boundaries become clearer than ever. Grizzly bears command respect through their power, yet they still yield to coordinated defense and strong protective instincts when the situation demands it. There are no undefeated animals in the wild, only those that adapt more successfully through each challenging season. Other predators adjust their behavior as well, avoiding direct confrontations whenever possible. If you want to discover more incredible stories from the wild, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next adventure.